finally in the NBA, hey, we all know that Brooklyn Nets superstar Kyrie Irving, he's completely out of his mind, right? From his Looney Tunes views on flat Earth and his Nazi sympathies or whatever that fool is doing now, we can all agree that Kyrie, he's like nuttier than a squirrel turd, right? I get it. Maybe this guy has like COVID brain or something. I don't know. Maybe, and this is just my personal theory, maybe Kyrie has always been told that he was really smart, like his entire life, and he's now a raging narcissist that thinks he knows everything. Remember, just a brief side note, parents, I know we think that low self-esteem is bad, and it can be. But trust me on this, high self-esteem might be worse. Remember this, the guy knocking off the 7-Eleven, he doesn't suffer from low self-esteem. He suffers from way too high self-esteem because he thinks he's smarter than everyone else. I'm just kind of lobbing out that free advice for you. But Kyrie Irving might have the highest self-esteem on the planet. I don't know why. And it's costing him, one, his sanity, and it's costing him his job. Because the NBA has suspended him for his wacky views and some of the stupid things he said and some of the things that he's supporting. Not to mention, a number of major companies with big money contracts and sponsors are pulling their paychecks in an effort to distance themselves from this nutcase. And yet, after Nike founder Phil Knight said Kyrie Irving had stepped over the line, when Kyrie shared that anti-Semitic film on Twitter, Nike cut their $11 million deal with Kyrie. But when that happened, Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown asked a very good question. Brown put on Twitter something that many of us were thinking. He said, since when does Nike care about ethics? And Jaylen Brown makes a really good point. Because the multi-billion-dollar company loves calling out problems in America. And yet we know they bend the knee to China, where the CCP is currently accused of committing genocide against the Muslim population there, saying that it's a brand that is China. I don't know what you want us to do about it. They've got no problem cutting ties with Kyrie Irving over a Twitter post. Oh, but they don't dare take a stand against China's human rights abuses. They're not going to say a word about that. Hey, like I said, personally, I think Kyrie is a narcissistic idiot. But since when is Nike, or even the NBA, the moral standard? I mean, the NBA bends the knee to China. And Nike, we all know why Chinese kids don't believe in Santa Claus. Because they make the toys, right? They also make the shoes, don't they? Hey, these two companies telling us what to think and what we should feel, yeah, it's pretty laughable. I'm not justifying what Kyrie is doing. He's a moron. And yet, I don't know that those companies have any room to point any fingers. Okay, YouTube, be sure you go over and you check out the rest of the podcast because this week on The Dose, we have a few more sports news stories to talk about. But the college basketball season is now underway, and we are going to be flying around and giving you a very quick intro on what to expect this season. There are a lot of changes and some really good teams out there. And we do have a Daly Dose Top 5 for you this week as well. Has your favorite NFL team season started the way you wanted? If not, we have a very encouraging Daly Dose Top 5 for you today. So be sure you go over and you listen to the rest of the podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments on YouTube for you. Hope you all are doing well. I will see you all next Wednesday. Have a great week.